Bassem Youssef is an Egyptian-American anti-Israel commentator, self-appointed commentator. And he really hasn't got a clue. And maybe he does have a clue, actually, but he just chooses to spout lies about Israel non-stop. But I want to show you something. I found this appalling and was surprised that no one's reported on this yet. So please listen to this and share this because it's outrageous. Bassem Youssef was in conversation with someone called James O'Brien. James O'Brien is a journalist, radio broadcaster for, this is him over here, for LBC, which is one of the main British radio stations, and also has an online channel where it can be watched in video format. And he's very much left-leaning, and he was interviewing Bassem Youssef about Israel, Gaza, and Hamas. And I'm not going to play the clip because I don't trust LBC to not submit a copyright claim or something, even though there is very much fair use for reporting. But I know people have had this before where if I show the clip, because maybe they might not like what I'm showing, that I'm just trying to discredit one of their presenters, or for whatever biases they may have, they may try and punish JTV. And I know of other people that's happened to, so I'm not going to risk doing that. But I'm going to read to you the transcript of what Bassem says to James and James's response, or rather lack of response. Okay, so this is what he said. And let me just get up the transcript here because YouTube has a transcript available, right? So he said, this is Bassem speaking. He's talking about the Western media. They have become mouthpieces of the Israeli media and propaganda. For a month now, decapitated babies. Yes, master. Decapitated babies. Gang rapes. Yes, master. Gang rapes. And no questions asked. No questions. Even when the Israeli media says this is all lies, they don't even bother to even translate that into English. They don't apologize. I think they ran with decapitated babies wrong, and we are sorry all of this has been proven wrong. There was only one baby killed. And then, before we just unpack this, James O'Brien listens to all of it, and then he kind of he doesn't challenge anything that Bassem says, where he's basically denying what occurred on October 7th, which is, frankly, pure anti-Semitism, pure prejudice, and just evil. But he basically just kind of agrees, seemingly, by just talking about the absence of pressure. He says, James says, there's an absence of pressure that exists on the Israeli media, and we all just listen to the lies, which is such a joke, given how hostile the Western media is. But there's no challenging of it. Let's be clear. What Bassem might be trying to say is there was one Israeli journalist who spoke of possibly 40 babies killed, some beheaded, and international media reported it as 40 babies beheaded, which isn't true and was never true. But we know that there certainly were approximately 40 babies killed. So what difference whether they are beheaded or not? And I saw a photo of at least one baby beheaded and another baby burned. This is what Netanyahu tweeted and was verified by the Americans. And then Youssef laughs off the notions of gang rape and sexual violence, despite the fact that we've just seen a new documentary come out by Sheryl Sandberg, Screams Before Silence, which documents through the first-hand accounts of the sexual violence and rape that took place on October 7th. And we even have Hamas terrorists admitting that they did it during Israeli interrogation. It's disgusting that I'm even having to try to prove all of this and qualify this. But what's so sick is that let's just say for argument's sake that he's right. Let's say there were no decapitations. It was just babies that were killed or burned. So what? What difference does that make? October 7th was an atrocity with babies killed, burned, beheaded, So what, how many? This was not something that was some kind of concerted effort or plan to falsify what took place. And that's what he's trying to construe about the Israeli media, about Israel. It's Holocaust denial 2.0. It's completely irrelevant what ways in which these kids were killed in terms of how much of an atrocity this was. And for James O'Brien, who's meant to be a mainstream media commentator, acceptable, part of the media elite, to just sit there and totally not challenge him and seemingly agree with him by saying, well, yeah, I think part of the problem is we just don't put pressure on Israel, is outrageous. And I think this, frankly, should cost him his job. I think we need to put pressure on LBC. And I encourage you to write to LBC. Send them this video. Challenge them. Call him out. What he's engaging in is the worst kind of anti-Semitism. Just like Holocaust denial, not only are the Jews going to suffer the worst oppression ever seen in human history, but we're also not going to even allow them the validation of the acknowledgement of their suffering. You're not even allowed to suffer while suffering. It's sick. You know, I heard, I think it was Rabbi, supposedly Reb Chaim Kanievsky, I think he was the one that commented on a discussion in the Talmud about what was it that Lot, the biblical character of Lot, died from. What kind of suffering did he die from? And there's various debates about what it was, and he was famed for experiencing all kinds of terrible tragedies in his life, despite being a good person. And there's one opinion in the Talmud that says he's actually a fictional character. You know, he didn't actually ever exist. And supposedly, this was Rav Chaim Kanievsky who said that opinion, that's what killed him. This notion that actually his suffering didn't even happen, that's what killed him. The cruelty of not even giving someone the dignity of acknowledgement of what they went through is so cruel, it's so evil. And Bassem, I don't know why he thinks he's noble in what he's saying. It's disgraceful. I don't know. I don't get any of the points he makes. He speaks emotional, gibberish, gobbledygook, and he doesn't offer any rational, sane perspectives or alternatives to the current situation. He basically preaches in emotion and in directionless rhetoric, and I don't think he should be paid much more attention. But James O'Brien, who is a regular broadcaster on British media, needs to be called out, and some kind of disciplinary action needs to happen. Hi, thank you so much for watching. To watch another one, click here. To stay up to date with all our content, click here to subscribe. And if you're able to, you can help support JTV to grow and grow by clicking join below this video, where you can become a member and get perks including early access to videos and private live discussions with me. But most of all, you'll be partnering with us on our mission to change the world.